Hello primary 4. Now let's move to lesson 4. Okay, and in this lesson we are going to talk about the bad effects of burning the fossil fuels. Okay, we said that some sources of the pollution in the big cities comes from burning the fuels, like burning the fuels inside the cars produces smog and fumes that pollute the air. And also the pesticides used on farms are mixed with the water in the canals and rivers. So when the rain falls, this leads to pollute all the water and the soil. And also using chemicals inside the factories pollute the air because of the fumes that comes out from the factories, and also pollutes the water sources and the soil near to the factory. So we have some effects or impacts of the air pollution on the human's health. How does the pollution of air affect on the human's health? Firstly, the smoke that comes from the cars causes irritation of the human's eyes and lungs, so we cannot breathe very well because the damage of our two lungs or irritation of the lungs, and we also damages our eyes. Number two, the scientists have found that the smog contains very small particles or tiny particles that when the human breathes, it gets inside our respiratory system, and this irritates the lungs or makes the irritation of our lungs, and this damages the tissues of our respiratory system. And let's note that some countries should make a greater effort to set laws to prevent the high levels of the smog in the big cities to decrease the amount of air pollution. Okay, we know that people need energy to operate their devices such as train, cars and ships. And we also generate the electricity by using the fossil fuels. But burning the fossil fuels has a large amount of bad effects and harms that affect our life and affect our earth. So they pollutes the environment and produces a large amount of carbon dioxide gas, and this causes two very main problems in our earth, like the acid rains and the global warming. They are two different phenomena that affect on our earth or on our planet and affects the living organisms on the earth. Firstly, the acid rains. When the carbon dioxide gas comes out from burning the fuels, this carbon dioxide gas combines with the water of the rains in the form of carbonic acid. So the carbon dioxide mixes with the rains of the water, forming carbonic acid. This carbonic acid goes down to the soil and the rivers, and that's called the acid rains. So what can the acid rains do for the living organisms on the earth? Firstly, the death of the trees, because the plants take this water containing the carbonic acid. Number two, the decomposition and destroying of some rocks, including the bricks of the buildings, because the water that falls on the buildings contains carbonic acid. Number three, the chemical changes in the structure of lakes, causing the death of fish, because the water will be polluted with this carbonic acid. So this leads to the death of fish, and also destroying our stomach because we drink this polluted water. The chemical changes in the structure of the soil, so the plants also will be harmed from this acid rains. The phenomenon number two is called the global warming, and the global warming, it's the increasing of the carbon dioxide gas in the air, which leads to increasing the temperature of the earth. But how? Increasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the air forms a layer in the atmosphere. Okay, this layer traps a large amount of heat above the earth's surface, so this heat cannot get out from the earth, so the temperature of the earth starts to increase or rises, and that's called the global warming. So the carbon dioxide gas make a layer or something like a protective layer inside the atmosphere, which doesn't lead the extra heat or the extra temperature to get out from the earth, and this increases the temperature of the earth, which is called the global warming. But how to reduce the acid rains and the global warming? The best solution or the best thing that we have to do to reduce the acid rains and the global warming is to decrease the using of energy or decrease burning of fossil fuels. So if we reduced our consumption of energy, the amount of burned fossil fuels will also decreases. So when the amount of the fossil fuel decreases, the amount of carbon dioxide gas that comes out in the air and other pollutants in the air, it also will decrease, so we can breathe really very well. Okay, so decreasing the using of energy not only reducing the pollution, but it also conserves the non-renewable fossil fuels that we burn, and this keeps our planet clean and healthy. Let's move to the questions. The acid rains causes the soil and water pollution. Right, because of the carbonic acid. Number 2, acid rains help the trees to survive. Wrong, because the acid rains pollute the soil, so this harms the plants and trees. Number 3, the heat trapped above the Earth's surface causes the global warming. Yeah, excellent. So getting the carbon dioxide gas inside the earth, this traps the heat or the temperature, and this causes the global warming. Number 4, the amount of oil on the earth's surface is limited. This means it can run out. Yeah, that's right. That's all for this lesson, and thank you for listening.